evening, everybody. Good evening, if you can get your attention. Welcome everybody here to Lighthouse Project. We do this every single Wednesday night, and we are pleased to have Gedale Fenster back after a nice tour in Eretz Yisrael, packing houses there, Baruch Hashem. And I want to go over tonight's very generous sponsors. The nightly sponsor is Ada Berkowitz, in memory of her father, Israel ben Yehuda Aryeh Zichron Lebracha, on occasion of his upcoming yahrzeit, which is on July 31st. It's in memory of Devorah Fega bat Shmuel Zichron Lebracha, and for the immediate refuah shlema of Menachem Mendel ben Sarabatia and Yaakov ben Pnina. Nightly sponsor also is Esther Josh and baby Jacob Kerner, to the success of their family. Anonymous, in memory of Edward David Shaul Zichron Lebracha, and thanks to Gedale for the impact in his listeners' lives. Hashem should bless him. Anonymous, may Hashem answer all Klal Yisrael's tefillot, prayers, and also in honor of Rafael Chaim Simcha ben Yamin ben Tzipora Yafa and Odelia bar Rivka Naomi for Shalom, Bayit, and happiness.
Amen.
Jennifer Chana Frand, in honor of Shira Esther bat Shoshana to have a healthy baby. Menachem Mendel ben Chana and Chana Ratzi bat Shoshana for continued Menuchat HaNefesh and Simchat HaChaim, and for Gedalia to get the knowledge from Hashem in his daily Hibodedut to give over with love and patience to 120.
Amen.
Anonymous, in honor of Yosef Chai ben Surushka for Mazel and health, and Dina bat Tamara for health and happiness.
Amen.
Yisachar Dov Gerwitz, in honor of a healthy marriage, and Shalom Bayit of Ruth bat Karen and Yisachar Dov ben Tzipor.
Amen.
Anonymous, in merit of all the people that have come into her life, past, present, and future, that they were either a blessing or a lesson.
Amen.
Anonymous, in honor of Sandra bat Aaron, Hashem should bless her with happiness, and thanks to her for being the best co-parent anyone could ask for.
Amen.
Matya bat Victoria, in memory of her father, Atzaru ben Shlomo Zichron Lebracha. Anonymous, in honor of Sora bat Esther for health, parnasa, and continued simcha.
Amen.
And finally, Ahuva and Perry Dubinsky, in honor of her son, Mikey Fishbein, for his birthday. May Hashem bless him.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome, Rabbi Pelech. Nice to have you here with your group. Beautiful job you're doing. Today's class is also in the schut of Elisheva Banava. May Hashem bless her with everything that she has. Okay, today's class is very, very important. We're going to talk about two major concepts in spirituality, and we're going to apply these two concepts to modern psychology. We're going to take from a book called How to Be an Imperfectionist, The Pursuit of Perfect, and we're going to talk about these. These are books that also Brene Brown's The Gift of Vulnerability, or The Gift of Imperfection, and we're going to talk about how these main books are really rooted in Kabbalah, and how do we apply these concepts to us today. I've gotten a lot of questions today. You know, obviously the dating scene is a massacre out there. The dating scene in New York, it's a disaster. The dating scene in LA is a disaster. There's a lot of people looking for perfection. And unfortunately, you're looking for something that doesn't exist. Not only does it not exist, but we have to understand that the reason we have a lack in our lives is so we get close to Hashem in that lack. That means if you think the problem is thinking that everything should be perfect, that itself is a problem. Because the purpose of the lack itself is to get closer to your Creator. You need to understand. A problem, look at the problems in our lives. That's why she said, the person who sponsored, either she got a lesson or she got a blessing. It's one of the two things in life. Either in life you get a lesson or you get a blessing. It's one of the two things in life. So, the lack that's created in life is so we get closer to our Creator through that lack. There's no question a guy that has a Shalom Bayit issue in his house is not going to get up and pray with completely different energy when he's got an issue, or a person dealing with an addiction, or a person dealing with not having children, or a person not being, let's say, practically not getting into the right college. So lacks in life are to get closer to Hashem. It's not to take it personal. What happens if you take the lacks and you take it personal, then what happens? Then the ego is running the show. So it's very important that in life, like we said many times, we want to fail fast, fail often, and get this lesson quickly. We don't want to waste our lives just thinking about, should I have done it? Should I have not have done it? Should I have taken the chance? Should I not have taken the chance? Maybe it's going to work out. Maybe it's not. Should I propose? Should I not propose? What happens is you develop decision fatigue. You start developing procrastination. You start looking for the perfection. And at the end of the day, you get nothing. You get nothing. So it's very important that we said that one of the great line by Noah Weinberg, he says, that the failure to make a decision is the biggest mistake in life. Why? Because at the end of the day, people often avoid making a decision out of fear of making a mistake. Actually, the failure to make a decision is one of life's biggest mistakes. This is Rabbi Noah Weinberg said this. And because we have to understand, we have two emotions in life. Love or fear. Fear is, perfectionism, procrastination are all rooted in fear. The ability to have bitachon in our lives. What does bitachon mean? Trust. Trust means action. We said this many times. I can believe something is going to work out, but until I open up that business, it's just in potential. Bitachon, trust in God, converts it. People that make long-range plans are people that have trust in God. They can believe it could work out, but one thing is taking action. And this is a very expensive lesson that people can get when they're younger. Because what happens is, if they're not taking action, then they live their whole life in fear. And then they say, look, who can I blame? Let me blame my parents for my lack of success. Or let me blame my not having enough money. Or this. No, you lived your whole life with fear. So this is definitely a lesson you need to understand in life. It's a very important lesson. Because whether or not, you never took the chance. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We have to understand the whole concept of the lack is to get closer to Hashem. Don't create the lack and say, I'm broken. I have this problem. I have that. No, that itself that lack is what you need to get closer to God. Remember that. Very important concept, because if a person doesn't believe that his Creator is doing things for his benefit, then what happens? Anytime he has a lack, he's going to do what? Run away. But if I think Hashem is doing it for my benefit, because He created the world out of love, then every time I have a lack, I'm going to do what? Approach Hashem. Very big difference. Because people that get into midlife crises in their lives, and they get depressed, God forbid, are people that they have the obstacle, and they go and they view it as a threat, and they go away from Hashem, instead of approaching Hashem. It's basically, you have two decisions, right or left. And I run a 56-bed detox and a 56-bed drug rehab facility. And I've seen those people that made the right move, and I see those people that made the wrong move, unfortunately. So it's not a funny thing to deal with. It's life is reality. So that's why Hashem, the world today is it's all about emunah. Because the whole world wants to figure things out today. And I can tell you right now, from my experience dealing with people in recovery, unless they say, I surrender, there's no second base. Until a person says, I have emunah, I can believe it, and then I'll see it, he never gets past that. That's the difference between the model today of emunah versus intellect. And this is what Reb Nachman spoke about so much, that if you're trying to figure things out in life all the time, you might never figure it out. So that's where you have to press the bitul button, the emunah button. And this is a very, very important lesson I wish I learned this lesson when I was younger. Because I could tell you who's succeeding today is resilient. People that are able to get smacked in the face and get up very quickly. Those are the people succeeding today. The people that are not prepared for the smacks in life, they get knocked down and they can't get back up, leads to addictions, depressions, etc. So that's something that we could teach when we're younger. So we have to almost say, we love our challenges. I'm excited over my challenges. So back to perfectionism. The difference between perfectionism and good enoughists. We want to be good enoughists. If a person is only focused on perfectionism, what is he going to say? He's going to say, what will they think? All perfectionists are worried about one thing. What do people think? Good enoughists say, how can I improve? So how do you know you're a perfectionist versus a good enoughiст? You're thinking, how can I improve? How can I get better? What can I learn from this experience? Perfectionism, what do people think outside? So basically it's rooted in the ego. That's why there's so much people that are perfectionists are known to have God forbid, depression, anxiety, miserable lives, because they're all, the whole point is waiting on validation, instead of saying, how can I get better? What are other symptoms of people that are perfectionists? Unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic. I'm going to marry this guy from this town. If it's not working out, it's not for me. If I don't have this job, it's not for me. They put such a label on something. If this doesn't happen, I'm not successful. So they always have unrealistic expectations. Perfectionism have unrealistic. They don't add the reality to it. You could see why people today, they're trying to lose weight, and they can't lose weight right away. Because they set unrealistic expectations, and if it doesn't go through, what happens? They quit. Instead of making smaller goals. Instead of saying, you know what, today we're going to lose 3 pounds. Next week, another 3 pounds. No, we want to lose 30 pounds. If we don't lose 30 pounds, good, all or nothing. So what happens at the end of the day? They get nothing. So that's another sign. Unrealistic expectations. Rumination. Perfectionism, they're dwelling in rumination. They're always thinking about the same thought, chewing it up like a cow. What does a cow do? It eats, it chews it up, it eats again, it chews it up, it chews again. They're so obsessed with the same thing over and over and over. That's a sign of a perfectionism. What are they going to think? How do I look? How does this? How does that? Too much focusing on the same. It's rumination, which will lead you, it's like a cow that's constantly chewing the same negative thought over and over and over again. Need for approval. Perfectionism always need approval. They're always waiting for approval from other people, and they live their whole lives on approval. Many people, I've told them, this is the perfect guy or girl for you. No, what is my family going to think? No, what is my neighbor going to think? Are you marrying them or your neighbor's marrying them? So you could see the constant need for approval. Who's approving you? How do you know that person has your best interest? When I got married after I got divorced, I got remarried really quick. And I had 10 people at my wedding. Because this is not for everybody. I'm getting back up really quick. And it was about 10 people. And that was the main reason. Because I didn't want to wait on the validation. Should I? Maybe he shouldn't. It's too fast. It's too slow. Not interested. Today, thank God, I'm married in 8 years and another 3 kids. So you can see, obviously, I made the right decision. But I knew already that it was going to be an obstacle. I knew marriage already was an obstacle. I knew anytime you open up a new business is an obstacle. There's no such thing as perfectionism. It's not find me a good shidduch, box A or box B. Box A you win, box B you lose. No, you have to make it work. You have to make it work. Like any business, like anything in life. It's the effort that you make to make it happen leads to success. But today, people think if I just pick the right box, I'll be happy. If I pick the wrong box, I'll be not happy. It doesn't work like that. That's the whole concept of the Shvirat HaKelim. We speak about many times in Kabbalah that God created the world, and He already recreated and destroyed many worlds before He created the world. So there was already failure was already into the picture before. So imagine this. Why would Hashem have to recreate in the Midrash? He recreated worlds before He even created. So already failure was already created into existence. Teshuvah was created before the Torah. So Hashem knew that we were going to fall. But the question is not what happens, is what do you do next? When a person makes a mistake, what does he do next? That's what you get judged for in life. Not the failure. What do you do next? What's the next move? Do you get up and you say, I made a mistake? Or do you run away? What was Adam's major sin? Instead of taking accountability and said, I made a mistake, what did he do? He blamed his wife. He didn't even have a mother-in-law. I don't know why he was complaining. He blamed his wife, and you know what he did? He ran away. Not only did he blame his wife, but he ran away. So imagine today somebody breaking your window and then running away. The chutzpah already, you broke my window. Now you're running away. So the same thing, that's why Hashem says, Ayeka, where are you? Where are you? So perfectionism don't believe they can fail. Perfectionists don't believe that they can make mistakes. How do you like Rav Nachman has a Torah lesson in Likutei Moharan that sometimes Hashem will make you lose your dat. He will take away your dat. He will take it away from you. so you can fall, just to get a new rise. We speak about this many times in Kabbalah. Kabbalah speaks a lot about a descent before an ascent. Person has to fall before he has a new rise. He has to have some kind of fall. Before there's a new level in Shalom Bayit, there's going to be a yeridah, a fall. So this whole perfectionism thing is completely against the Torah concept. That's why so many people are suffering from this so much. It's because it's not a realistic thing. If already in my spiritual levels I have to go through yeridot, falling before rising, and I have to do this throughout my life, whether it's with marriage, whether it's with anything else, because what's the purpose of a yeridah? What's the purpose of a fall in life? It's to humble you. It's to humble you. Because maybe you think that you're the one doing everything, and you got it all in the bag, and you're good. So what happens? You fall. And when you fall, you become humble, which is ultimately greater, because when you're humble, at least Hashem's closer to you. So that's the purpose. Any time, and I go through this all the time. I go through stages where I feel great. I want to do 20 classes, and there's stages that I don't even want to pick up a book. That happens to me all the time. And I have to fight the negativity. Imagine me not wanting even to want to pick up a book, yet alone teach a class. So this is normal. It's not something that something's wrong with you. It's any time there's a new level of high. So this is, for you young guys, very specific, that many times you're not going to want to put on tefillin. Or you're not going to want to do something that's good for you. But this is the Yetzer Hara. It's not you. Like we said many times, we don't hesitate when we go to Heat games. We don't hesitate when we go eat. We don't hesitate when we do other things. But how come we hesitate when we want to do things like spiritual? How come there's a hesitation in spirituality? No, I woke up at 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, you still want to put on your tefillin. It's 12 o'clock. What happened at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? It's because this hesitation is coming from the Yetzer Hara. We need to understand that. Any hesitation that you have spiritually is coming from the Yetzer Hara. Why? It's because that hesitation, on the other side of that hesitation, there's something very good. So if there's hesitation, what do you need to do? Completely do the opposite. Completely do the opposite. You need to run fast. If you don't feel like teaching a class, you know what you need to do? Teach 2 classes. Because otherwise, what does the Yetzer Hara do? He keeps you he keeps you all focused on feelings all the time. Very important concept. This is why Reb Nachman would always imagine Reb Nachman. Look at us at our level today, in sunny Florida degrees, 105 degrees outside. Reb Nachman used to get up 7 times, 8 times a day. He would have constant challenges on constantly going up, falling, up, falling, up, falling. So you could see perfectionism is absolutely a ridiculous idea, and it's a sign of gava. Gava means arrogance. Arrogance meaning expecting everything to go 100% perfect. And again, this is against the Torah concept, because even when the moon complained, what was the first complaint of the moon? The moon complained that, how come, why is there two kings? 2 people shouldn't be in power. So you know what happens when they complain? Go down. Made the moon smaller. So any time that we complain, how come it's not working out? How come things are not perfect? Oh, really? Time to humble yourself. We know that from the moon. The moon complained, how come things are not working perfect? Make yourself smaller. So this is it's a concept. So again, signs of perfectionism, unrealistic expectations. Rumination, constantly ruminating over the same thing over and over. Need for approval. Concerns over mistakes. We said many times in our classes, did you win or did you learn? That's life. Many times in business, you're going to learn, and sometimes you're going to win. We spoke about WD-40, that famous spray. It took him 40 times to make it. That's why it's called WD-40, by the way. The 39th wasn't enough. It had to be 40 times. Doubts over actions. When a person starts doubting himself all the time. These are also signs of this. And the problem is, again, I get Hasidic kids in my rehab. I get kids that you figure, how in the world did you get here? How in the world did you get here? Maybe they had some crazy perfectionism. Their father wanted perfectionism as him. He wasn't able to be perfect. He felt ashamed, and he couldn't deal with the shame. So you can see it's not only that, but it's destroying lives. Unfortunately, in New York, I think they had 5 or 6 overdoses in 2 weeks, Jewish kids on drugs. This is a serious thing. This is a serious thing. So again, nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own lane in life. Everybody has their own mission in their life. One guy's supposed to be a banker. One guy's supposed to be a teacher. One guy's supposed to be something else. Not everybody has the same mission. So back to this concept of staying in your lane in life. A person has to make sure that he stays in his lane. Because if you don't stay in your lane in life, that's where accidents happen. Hashem gives us all specific gifts, one better than other. And he's not better than you, you're not better than him. You have a completely different mission based on a previous lifestyle. So we also don't, unfortunately today we're in a world of self-comparison. And we're in a world of not understanding how some people are smarter, or this one's more successful than that. It's nothing to do with you. Hashem runs the world. There's 2 businesses. There's Hashem's business, and there's your business. You have to make sure you're in the right business. You're not going to succeed if you're in the wrong business. What is being in Hashem's business? Telling Hashem how to run the world. So it's very important that we ask in tefillah, Hashem, what's my potential in life? How can I be the best of my life? Not what will they think? Not this. Not this crazy perfectionist concept. So these are just concepts of that. Now, when we speak about in Kabbalah, we speak a lot about this concept called the tzimtzum. Tzimtzum is a concealment of light. What's the purpose for a tzimtzum in our lives? A tzimtzum is, we know that some days we wake up with Hashem, the day's revealed to you. There's light in your day. Those days you run, you feel great, you feel motivated, and some days you don't feel like even waking up. Those days happen, and we know, what did we do different? Same schedule, we still live in Florida, you still live in Miami. What happened? It's because in order to have free will in this world, you need a combination of light and darkness. Light is everything's open for you, everything's revealed. I don't need a munah if it's light outside. Where do I need a munah? I need a munah at night, when there's no clarity, when there's a tzimtzum. A tzimtzum means a contraction of light. So when a person is in a state where he can't see light, he doesn't see light in his life, it's not the time to do what? Numb, suppressed emotions. That's the time where you're getting tested. The purpose of a tzimtzum, the purpose of a tzimtzum, where basically Hashem puts the person in an ability to choose. I always give the same example, and that it's really a great example. Let's say I want to take an employee and I want them to have 2 or 3 stores. What happens? They only have 1 store now, but I want to promote that employee. I want to make that employee's salary double. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go test that employee with, let's say, a customer with cash, and to see is that employee going to take the cash from the customer without ringing it up. Now, do I want to test them? I have to test them. Why do I have to test them? Because otherwise, how do I prove that they're going to go, that they can manage 3 stores if they can't even, they're not honest with 1? So the test has to happen. Who's behind the test? It's Hashem behind the test. Or let's say I'm behind the test. Am I rooting for them to win? Absolutely. But I can't tell them, by the way, this is a test, because then there's no test anymore. So the test itself, if that person passes, what happens? They get rewarded double. So that when we have darkness and challenges in our lives, this is for the purpose of testing us. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? That's the ultimate tzimtzum in our lives. So expecting, a perfectionist doesn't expect obstacles. Just think they have to be everything perfect. And it can't, it's only the one way to be miserable. Even also, like we said many times, if a person is going out with somebody that it's a potential shidduch, and to expect already that things are going to be rosy. It's not going to be rosy. You're going to have to expect obstacles. Because why? Because if you get married to this person, you're going to have a beautiful life. You can have children. You can do so many mitzvot. But I have friends, unfortunately, that have gone the other way. And they tell me all the time, look, I got married in Vegas. Everything went perfect. I said, don't worry. You're not going to pay now. You'll pay later. Now you're getting the free, but you pay later. It's not like there's a time. But with us, with the spirituality, you do what? You pay first, and you pay first, but you enjoy later. The other way, you enjoy now, but you'll pay later. And that's why people call me, well, why didn't you tell me this was going to happen? Of course I told you it was going to happen. So having this constant in life of feeling, not feeling perfect, not feeling happy all the time, it's a tzimtzum. It's normal. It's normal to sometimes, when you're proceeding in spirituality, to feel lows. It doesn't mean you should retract. It doesn't mean you should quit. It means that is a test. That is a new level of spirituality. So that's why people they think they have to feel good all the time. And that is completely false. You're not going to feel good all the time, specifically if you're rising. Because every time there's a rise, in Chassidut means there first has to be a fall before. This is the laws of Chassidut. Now, if you could talk about this to a psychologist, he's not going to really understand it. He's going to try to figure it out. But that's why we use our Torah. The Torah tells you the night and the day are all one. The problem again today is people think that on a good day there's a different Hashem, and on a bad day there's a different Hashem. No, it's one. Yud Kei Vav Kei, the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei is the name of mercy, and the name of Elohim is the name of what? Judgment. Is the name of nature. So not thinking, this is the kavanah that we have when we say Shema. Don't think when you have a good day and a bad day, there's two separate gods, God forbid. So technically, when we become angry about those days, it's a form of idol worshiping. Why is it a form of idol worshiping? Because you think it's a different God. It's one. It's the same Hashem that you had a great day, and it's the same one that He's concealed in our life. The difference is today, people think that Hashem abandoned them. It's not called abandonment. It's called concealment. Big difference. Because if I say, wow, my Creator abandoned me, then of course I'm going to give up hope. But if I say He's concealed in my life right now, what do you do when somebody's concealed? You scream out and ask, where are you? That is the purpose. Keep it super simple in life. We complicate life too much. Specifically, we complicate life when we're dealing with our challenges. And we have to understand that the main belief in life is that Hashem is doing it for you, not to you. For you. For your benefit. He created the world out of love. He's not there to punish you for every little thing. Because you can't get to second base if you don't understand that concept. If you don't understand that second concept, you can't really go anywhere. Because that person's beliefs are that, it's not fair, life is not fair, and etc., and whatever I'm going to do is not going to make a difference. So that kind of mindset will eventually lead to, unfortunately, a very negative mindset and unfortunately, God forbid, a complete kafira. Because remember, any time in life there's an event, then we have a thought about that event, and there's the emotion. Remember that. Events happen to everybody. Event, what does that event mean to you? And there goes your emotion. Another example. Rain outside. That's an event. One guy has a store, and he says, wow, it's raining. The first thing he thinks, customers buy in the rain. His emotion, happy. Another customer, another person, rain. What does he think? Hashem ruined my whole day today, and I'm not going to make any business. What's his emotion? Sad. Didn't the same rain come down? Yes. So, like I said many times, nothing comes with meaning in life. You are the one labeling it. Is this good? Is this bad? Is this great? Is this poor? So if you don't have das, this is what we learned. This is Rabbi Pella. I'm sure he's teaching his students das. Because if we don't have das or perception, then we don't know what to label things. And if you don't know what to label things when things happen, and these events are always going to happen in our lives. We can't control events from happening. Events happen. Like winds come. But what we think about is based on what our belief is about our Creator. And it's a vital lesson, because without emunah, what happens? A person that has emunah and bitachon, he views those events as what? Challenges. challenges. Person that doesn't have bitachon, he doesn't have any faith, what does he say? Event? He says what? That's a threat. I'm getting threatened again. And what happens after you get threatened? What's the emotional threat? Or fear? Welcome to Anxiety 101. How come the world is so full of anxiety today? Did you ever wonder that? Wonder why there's so much anxiety in the world? Why is there so much anxiety in the world?
Social media.
That's one reason. Social self-comparison. That's one way to have, but thinking life is a threat and not having bitachon, that itself will lead you to anxiety. You can't fix an anxiety problem if you don't view your life as a challenge. If you view your life as a threat, yeah, you can have anxiety. What am I going to tell you? And that's where we got to get really grounded on our belief systems. That's where we got to get really, really grounded on our emunah. And emunah is also like a muscle. It's a muscle. It doesn't work by itself. Emunah must be worked on. You have to work on it. You have to read. You have to pray for emunah. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So to the extent that you work on your emunah, to the extent you work on your bitachon, when you see challenges, you say, when you see events, you say this is a challenge. But to the extent where you don't have emunah and you don't work on your bitachon, that same situation is going to be a threat. And of course, you're going to worry about it. And of course, it's going to lead to anxiety. How do you fix that problem? You have to have das. This is why our classes are so focused on das. Constantly renewing our mind. Remember, you have to always renew your mind. Because through having das, when a person has emunah, he starts thinking greater than he feels. He's thinking greater than he feels. How else can I think greater than I feel today? Tell me. Show me how I can think greater than I feel without a mind-altering substance. Marijuana doesn't give you emunah. Marijuana gives you the calmness, and then what happens? You're going to get paranoia afterwards. Only emunah gives you that calmness. Only emunah gives you that calmness. People tell me all the time, thank God for marijuana, I have such better Shalom bayit. You think it's that easy to have Shalom bayit? If you just smoked a joint, you think that would solve all your problems? What do you think you're doing? You're attempting to solve a problem. The problem is done through emunah, through Torah, not through a mind-altering substance, obviously. And what happens after you stop taking it? You become dependent upon it. And then what happens? Your wife wants to talk to you? Wait, let me smoke and then I'll talk to you? How long do you think that's going to last in life? It's not going to last very much. But the Yetzer Hara tells you, it's good, it'll calm you down, it'll relax you. What do you need? You could see how the Yetzer Hara has everybody. He dresses up like a mitzvah sometimes. And we need to understand that. And many times, so we want to understand. Yes, I have to deal with imperfection. I have to deal with obstacles. It's okay to fail, but I want to fail fast. I want to get the lesson quickly in life. I don't want to sit there and wait for procrastination. I also want to understand, any time that I'm going into relationships, I recognize that a relationship is a place to give. Hashem has to ultimately bless that relationship. When I go into a relationship to give, many people ask me, well, listen, I don't know about going into a relationship. He has a kid, or she has a kid. So I said, Mazel Tov, now you're going to a place to give. You mean you have to only take all in life? No, you have to give. So Mazel Tov, you have a place to give now. See the difference? When you go into a situation to give, then you're almost guaranteed success by Hashem. Because we know that ultimately there's only Hashem can bless a relationship. But if I only go into a relationship to take, and what can they do for me? And what can she do for me? How does she make me look? Then that's not really a relationship. And because a relationship based on something happening, and that thing doesn't happen, what happens? The relationship is over. You see the problem today in this world today? Why it's so the other way, it's upside down. Because again, people are on the taking instead of giving. Your soul feels abundant, your ego feels a lack always. What's a good sign? People tell me, how do you know if you're in your ego state or your soul state? Your ego saying, I'm always lacking everything. Lacking this, lacking that, lacking that, lacking that, lacking that. Then you're not in your ego, you're not in your soul state. Your soul state feels abundant. And what happens when you feel abundant? You start giving away. You start giving away your light. But what happens? What does the ego do? It shrinks. The key to happiness today is two things. It's called growth and giving. Giving and growing. But what happens if I can't give and grow if I'm too consumed with myself? So that's why it's so important to really get over ourselves, and then we can start getting to the next level. So back to this perfectionism concept. We know now that the way that God created the world, He created Ishriyat HaKelim, the purpose of the shattering of the vessels. Any time that something's not working out in our lives, it's very simple. It's because the light that we want and the vessel that we have are not matching. Keep it super simple. What I want and my vessel are not matching. What do I need to do? What do people normally do? They complain about what? There's not enough light. Right? They always say, there's not enough light. Don't you agree to have Shalom Bayit? You need to have a vessel for Shalom Bayit. You need to be able to shut your mouth if you're a guy. Self-control, self-confidence. But you want Shalom Bayit, and what are you saying? Why can't my wife just change? Do you think you're going to succeed at Shalom Bayit? Asking your wife, Hashem, please change my wife. Please change this person. How about you? No, I'm good. The purpose of prayer is to pray. First, we have to pray to connect, not just to get. If you only pray to get without connecting, then what happens? You're not going to get, or you're not going to connect. But if we start praying to connect, Hashem, I want to connect to you. I want to pray to connect. I want to do what you want me to do. You first pray to connect. And then through connecting, then you will get. Because you're going to want different things. Tefillah makes us want different things. You want a different life when you start praying through your soul state. The ego state says, give me this, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Your soul wants to connect. First, remember, you have to connect first. Once you connect, you will feel different. Once you will feel different, you will ask for different things in life. It's a very important concept. Remember, these lessons, you learn them early. Learn them early until you get to 40, 35, 40 years old, and you're saying, I didn't get this, I didn't get this, I didn't get this, I didn't get this, I didn't get this. Because you never prayed to connect. That's the hardest thing today. Pray to connect. That's why the Gemara says, when a person prays with expectation, what happens? It's like watching the scoreboard. You go to the game, okay, I prayed, what's the scoreboard? It's a form of arrogance. You understand? Because you're praying like a transaction. Is life a video game? You do this, you get rewarded. You do that, you don't get rewarded. If I press this, I'll be rich. If I press this, I'll be married. If I press this, it's not a video game. Life is not a video game. But when we start connecting to our higher self, then we want different things. We want different desires. We want better things in our lives. Instead of wanting to go out on Friday night, we want to keep Shabbat. That's what prayer does for you. It makes you want different things. Where's that coming from? A commercial? It's coming from your heart. Your heart's telling you, Rav Nachman says, lesson 138, that when a person opens up his heart with truth, Hashem will send him the words on what to say and what to pray for. It's almost an open book test. All you have to do is have an open heart. Open heart. That's all you have to do. Just keep it simple, smile, and ask to connect. And you'll be surprised over the things that come to you. Believe me, I didn't study with the Mekubalim in Jerusalem. I originally went to public school when I was younger, believe it or not. And then I had some very expensive lessons in my life. And I got into Rabbi Nachman's teachings, believe it or not. I didn't come through the door of yeshiva. I didn't come through the back door. But today, I went to go speak in Williamsburg to Chassidim. So I'm like, what is a public school guy speaking to Chassidim in Brooklyn for? Obviously, it's a lack of renewal. So what happens when you have a religion without renewal, without the heart, then it just becomes a transaction. There's no heart. That's why Rabbi Nachman focused so much on having the heart. Make sure, even do a little bit less, but do it with intention. Do it with feeling. Even when we say a bracha on food, spend an extra second and look at the food that you got. and pay an extra 1 minute of mindfulness instead of just this world of constant consuming, never ending. Phones in their face 24 hours a day. It's like there's never ending. There's no mindfulness now. It's a world of zoning out. Zone out. Just zone out. Whatever I can do, I just don't want to zone out. Instead of zoning in. Zoning in, not zoning out. Give me a phone. I don't want to. That's why there's so much problems with parenting today. Lack of presence in relationships. It's a constant world of zoning out. It's funny how I started talking about perfectionism. Next thing you know, I'm talking about Emunah, Shabbat, and everything. Yeah, sometimes I can prepare a class, and then God takes me completely somewhere else. So this is something we need to understand. We need to understand the importance of connecting. And you could say, well, many people have this mindset, well, how can I connect? I don't keep Shabbat. How can I connect? I don't eat kosher. How can I connect? Start with one thing. Perfectionists also say all or nothing. It's all or nothing. No, it's not. That's not Nachman's way. Chassidut teaches us a concept that a little bit of light will get rid of what? A lot of darkness. What do you tell a guy in recovery that lost everything in his life and he says, I'm 10 days clean? What would you tell him? Well, who cares about 10 days? Look, you ruined your life. You did this. You took that person down. You have no money. What is 10 days for you? Look at all the wrong in your life. No. Opposite. I'm going to sing with what I have. That is the beginning of changing your life. What is the opposite? Azamra is what? I'm going to sing with what I have. And what happens in life? Whatever stays in motion will what? Continue to stay in motion. That means once you start singing with 10 days clean, you're going to sing with 30 days clean, 30 years clean. And you're going to sing with a lot of things also. The power of momentum. The power of momentum recognizes that I have to stay in motion. The Torah tells me one thing. Just stay in motion. Stay in motion, which is the opposite of what? The opposite of focusing on what's wrong with my life. I can focus on two things. We've spoken many times. Wherever your focus goes, that's where your energy flows. Went to my rehab the other day. A specific person was not feeling too good. So I said, why are you feeling that way? I'm tired. Why are you tired? Because you're focusing on what you don't want to happen. One person smiling. Why is he smiling? Because he focuses on what he wants to happen. Do you understand? It's very important. Wherever we focus in our lives, that's where our energy is going to go. Very simple. If I focus on gratitude, I'm going to have a big smile in my life. I'm going to see everything in my life. But if I focus on what I don't have through social media, self-comparison, then it's going to lead me to what? Questions about God. How come I don't have? How come this person has? And then ultimately it leads us to what? To self-comparison, to depression, to etc. And that's what we have to be careful. That's the first thing you have to do. When you say Modeh Ani, in the morning, you say, thank you, God. And then you say brachot. Every bracha we say is thank you for giving me light over darkness. Thank you for not making me this. Thank you for this. Why do we say that in the morning? It's because we want to start creating momentum in our lives. We want to start creating momentum. We want to get motion. Because if you start your day with gratitude, what happens? You're going to feel good. And when you feel good, you're going to be in a good state. When I'm in a good state, when I feel good about myself, I will label things much better than when I'm not in a good state. If I'm in a good mood, I'm going to label things much better. I'm going to say, wow, something happens to me? Thank God it's from Hashem. But if something happens to me and I'm not in a good mood, what am I going to say? What else can go wrong today? How come people walk around with a smile and people walk around with the opposite? It's because what they're focusing on. Because they spend 95% of their time on their subconscious. Negative thoughts are coming from where? Subconscious. They're thinking, they're not doing. They're just thinking. Where are negative thoughts coming from? Subconscious. So our job today is to break the pattern. Break the pattern. Break the pattern of thought. Don't dwell in your subconscious all day long. Because what happens? If you watch a bad movie and this is what you focus on, it's going to be bad. So we have to break the patterns in life. That's what Rabbi Nachman spoke about many times. Breaking thought patterns constantly. Always breaking thought patterns. Always shifting mindsets. Because he knew already if we were a better mindset, we were going to focus on different things. Rabbi Nachman already knew the message. He said you have to not only fight for simcha, it's not enough to fight for simcha. Remember, he didn't say, be happy. He said you have to fight for it. It's not going to come to you. It's not Amazon. You can't order happiness on Amazon. You have to transform things in life. You have to look at lemons and make them lemonade. You have to look at things that happen and say this is a lesson. That's how you fight for simcha. It's not enough, he said, it's not enough just to think of it. You have to take the lemon in your life and transform it. You understand? That's a deeper level. It's deeper than just going from a negative thought to a positive thought. Deeper level is saying, wow, if it wasn't for this problem, I wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for this situation, I wouldn't be here today. Then you start transforming happiness. It's a different level. Because what happens? You start looking for meaning in that thing, and through meaning, you recognize not only was that situation that looked terrible for you, but it was actually the greatest thing that happened to you. When you start thinking like that, you're in a different league. You're in a different league. You're in a different league. You look at life, you become a visionary. A person who's a visionary doesn't need to get close and say, I have to see it to believe it. A person who says, I have to see it to believe it has no faith. But a person with vision, a person who's a visionary, could see very far away and see it. And B'ezrat Hashem today, may we all merit to be visionaries, may we all merit to have bitachon, and may we all merit that Hashem should help him, Rabbi, he should bless Rabbi Pell with all that he has. That's today's class.